What is up, my friends? It's Fenikz here, and yeah, we're going to be doing a Blackrock Cavern run this time. Now, you guys requested PvE content, and that's what we're going to bring you guys. And we also noticed you requested tanking or healing. That was the main requested thing. So I'm on my warrior. This is one of 4 tanks. This is my undergeared tank, and it's consistent of, you know, just someone who's starting out. It's got a few epics, rest of it's blue, normal dungeon gear and stuff like that. Now, in the description, I'm going to leave a link which is going to be TSW's tanking guide. Now, this is a guide for high-end raiding, so don't expect to find stuff for starting off. You won't find that in that guide, but what you will find is a lot of information that is still relevant and for higher end, you know, raiding if you want to do that as a tank. Now, here you see I used the heroic leap to basically jump in, and then I also charge the mobs. If you're fast enough, you can heroic leap and charge to get the both benefits, which is quite good. I've macroed rend into my charge, so I just press it again when I'm in close combat and I use a rend. Once that's up, I use thunder thunder clap to basically spread the rend around. And then once the mobs are all gathered up, I usually backpedal a little bit so they basically join the cone, and then I use thunder shot. Now, once I've done this, I rotate cleave and revenge in, and that's pretty much it, guys. That is all there is to AoE tanking. Now, the AoE tanking did get buffed by 500% threat increase, and that is insane. Now, the reason they've done this is because not a lot of people like tanking. There's a lot of responsibility for tanking. You're basically responsible for how fast the group will actually move. You're responsible for making sure no one dies from mobs. You're making sure you're the one who's picking up the mobs. You're making sure people don't die from boss abilities that you have to basically maneuver that boss, or, you know, stuff like that. It's a lot of responsibility, and people don't like responsibility in games because they just want to have fun. Now, this is where the downside comes into tanking, because you can have fun, but you've still got a degree of responsibility there that you have to basically take charge of. And so that's why tanking isn't for everyone. You really need to enjoy tanking. Like for me, I'm very aware of my surroundings when I'm playing and tanking, so that makes me a good tank, because I'm aware of what this person to the left is doing me, what this mob over here is going to be doing, and stuff like that. Now, and that's what makes a good tank. If you have poor awareness and you're not grabbing mobs that are being aggroed accidentally, then you're not really a good tank. You need to gather them mobs up and tank them bitches. That is your job. So, as regarding PvE content, let's just see what's out there. We've got the Cataclysm dungeons, which is like these old ones. You have the 2 new dungeons, which is Zullerman and ZG. Now, if you're a hardcore WoW player, you will have done these millions of times in the vanilla content and the TBC content. So, what content is there to actually bring you guys that you haven't seen before? Well, apart from Firelands raiding, there really isn't anything that we can bring you. So, what I suggest you guys doing is liking a video for the person who's commentating it, and basically liking their personality and what they talk about and how they perceive that dungeon, because you're always going to see that dungeon until the newer content comes out. When that does come out, then that's when you're going to see new content. Now, as for me, I don't do PvE raiding because I'm not in a PvE raiding guild, but some directors are, like Louscast. He has a prop warrior, and hopefully there's going to be some content on that. I've noticed Jinx has brought a tanking guide out for BOT. It's old content, but it's still PvE content. Until the new 5, I think it is, dungeons come out, there's nothing we can really do. But when that new content does come out, you can bet your asses that we're going to bring you guys some decent content. As for the PTR, I believe it's out in a week or so, so we're going to be bringing you some content from the PTR, some dungeons and stuff like that, which is going to be cool, I have to say. So let's see. There's 4 tanks in WoW. You've got the Paladin, which is like the cooldown whore. You've got the Prot Warrior, which is basically movability whore. You've got the DK, which is the cooldown whore. And by that I mean with runes. I mean, if you can't manage your runes on a DK tank, you're pretty much a shit tank. End of. Although people don't really hold DK tanks in high regard compared to the other tanks. And then you have your fluffy little druid tank, which is probably the easiest tank to play. I'd say the easiest is druid, warrior, paladin. Well, actually I'd say druid, paladin, warrior, then DK. Now the only reason I say DK is hard to play is because the runes that you use, they have a cooldown, and the next one doesn't basically start its cooldown until the other one's on cooldown, if that makes sense. So if you're basically tanking a group of mobs and you've used D&D, you've used your Empower runes to reset your runes, and you've used your Blood Boil and everything's on cooldown, and some noob aggro's some other mob, you can't do now until your runes have come off cooldown. It is a bit of a problem, but sometimes you can get away with it. You're lucky enough your runes just come off cooldown, so DPS will take a few hits, stuff like that. But then again, DKs do have their benefits. They have a lot of magic resistance to them type of bosses. I remember when TBC, what's it called? Oh, what's his name? The big ogre in TBC, and then you've got the ogre boss. Oh, never mind. I can't remember, but there used to be a boss in TBC that DKs used to be really good at tanking, even though DKs didn't come out to Wrath of Lich King. But still, my point is that DKs are good at tanking magical bosses. Let's just leave it at that. So guys, hopefully we're going to bring you some more content soon. If you guys want a specific guide for something, then please leave that in the comments. Like, if you said tanking and healing. Now, what do you mean by tanking? What class? What kind of content? Do you want starting content, or do you want raiding content? Do you want to know what stuff you need to be looking out for when tanking? What add-ons to get for tanking? What add-ons to get for healing? All that kind of stuff. If you need to really leave more information about what you want, I'm probably going to be making a Holy Paladin PvE guide pretty soon. If that's something you guys are interested in, because you did really suggest healing guide, because some of you are really starting out healing. Now, for them people who are starting out healing, tell me what healer you're starting out with. I have all healers. I have a druid, I have a priest, I have a paladin, I have a shaman, although my shaman is only 85. So leave some comments saying what kind of guide you want. If it's not already been made and we can't provide you the link to go watch that video, then we'll basically make a video, or I'll make a video on that. So that's pretty much all I've got to say in this video, guys. If you liked it, please thumbs it up, leave a good comment, and favourite this if you want. Please subscribe to the TGN channels, and that's really it, guys. I'm going to be bringing more content soon. If you like this, please just support me and go subscribe to my personal channel. Peace out, guys.